My name is Ariski Daoud, and I'm presenting a brief synopsis of what MEA Risk analysts are currently tracking in the North Africa and Sahel regions. Today is July the 10th, 2015. MEA Risk analysts are watching a number of events that have various degrees of impact on stability and security. In Egypt, we note the dismantling by authorities of a number of NGOs, private social programs, and charities, essentially on the ground that they are affiliated to the Muslim Brotherhood movement. In Manufia, outside of the capital Cairo, 38 such organizations have been shut down. In Minya, in Beni Suef, and Damietta, another 14 were liquidated as well. On the security front, there has been some calm across the country, with the exception of a bomb that exploded in the coastal province of Bahira, injuring 5. This is a major contrast from last week's severe confrontation between the military and Islamic State insurgents, or Islamic State-affiliated insurgents, which saw a record number of critical incidents and deaths. We have released an assessment online, available specific on our website. Feel free to visit, it's available. On the economic front, some data just released continue to highlight the fragility of the Egyptian economy, starting with the fact that the country's domestic debt has been spiraling out of control, peaking at a stunning $261 billion equivalent. That's up 18% year over year. The figure is enormous and is likely to put the Egyptian government's current and future in tough position for the many decades to come. This news comes as Egypt just reimbursed $670 million to the Paris Club, bringing its debt to the club to about $3 billion. West of Egypt is Libya, where sources say dozens of Islamic State fighters came to Sirte from Sudan to join their counterparts there as reinforcement against the National Army and Libya Dawn. Again, these are the three main players in the current Libyan civil war. That is the National Army, Libya Dawn, and the Islamic State. What began as sporadic skirmishes in Benghazi has turned today into full-blown offensive from Al-Qaeda-affiliated Ansar al-Sharia, after that organization killed 16 National Army soldiers that are affiliated to the National Army of General Haftar. Elsewhere, the fight between the Islamists of Libya Dawn and the National Army continues, with one dead during a confrontation yesterday in the town of Ajilat, near Sabrata. The National Army engaged in this fight comprised of fighters from a couple of places. One is Misrata and the second is Zintan. Those of Libya Dawn are from the Sabrata region. And the region of Derna, revenge attacks remain a major issue, targeting essentially those believed to be sympathizers of the Islamic State, which has been dislodged, as you know, recently from the region. Yesterday, a bomb was placed under the vehicle of an alleged Islamic State sympathizer in the city of Derna. On the political front, there is really no progress to note. In fact, tribal leaders in Beni Walid announced that they were not interested in taking part of the UN brokered dialogue in Skhirat, Morocco, making essentially sort of the UN reconciliation efforts hard to achieve. In Tunisia, the country is under pressure, with the security services on overdrive and on high alert after the Sousse attacks, naturally. Authorities announced a 162-kilometer-long barrier to be built along the Libyan border to control the movement of people. Anti-religious activities from authorities and the police are ongoing in Mehdia, in Sidi Bouzid, in Kairouan, in Kef, in Tatawin, and the capital Tunis, of course, where 9 individuals were arrested and a so-called spy network dismantled, according to our trackers on the ground. In Tatawin, there is news of about 34 local residents, mainly young men, joining the Islamic State in Libya, including 3 uniformed soldiers. However, there are rumors that these individuals really didn't leave the national territory. They actually went further south in the Tunisian desert to take part to training, Islamic State training in Tunisia, which is very much if that is the case, it'll be a very worrisome development. Foreign support for Tunisia is coming in the form of military advisors from the UK, France, and Germany, but the country has a sense of more to come, with the southern regions likely to be a target of NIS operation from which attacks could be launched against northern regions. Further west in Algeria, the country is also in the midst of a permanent anti-terror offensive, despite the month of Ramadan. The Defense Ministry just disclosed that 102 alleged terrorists were eliminated so far this year, but another fight against criminality is also creating a lot of stress. In particular, the dismantling this week of drug trafficking networks in the west of the country. But apart from the security and criminality incidents, Algeria's biggest problems, without any doubt, remain its never-ending social and human problems. In Gardaya, as you know, over 23 people were killed, at least 23 people were killed during intra-ethnic confrontations over the past 48 hours. In Béjaïa, Jijil, and Tizi Ouzou, the populations there continue to demonstrate due to a series of problems, such as lack of drinking water, as it is happening in the Kabylie region. In Jijil, the construction of a highway, for instance, has been halted due to disagreements on hard currency payments between the company and the government, and that's creating, obviously, labor problems and such. In Morocco, efforts to prevent an IS onslaught are underway, while the country's authorities also continue to crack down on civil rights. In Marrakesh, for instance, 5 individuals were arrested yesterday for publicly breaking fast. In Oujda, an Islamist association was prevented from accessing a mosque. On the criminal front, there's a lot happening as well, such as the following elections that just took place. There's been a criminal network that was dismantled in Fez, leading to the arrest of 5 gang members, while in Meknes, an elected official was arrested also on corruption charges. The Sahel region has also its own set of issues that we're tracking. There's been a little bit of a quiet on the security front, but let's start with Mauritania, where the issue of slavery is being debated now as we speak, with NGOs essentially urging real justice reforms. Many anti-slavery militants are in prison as the current government is resisting any action to fully implement abolition laws. In Mali, which has seen an escalation of violence lately, some 144 people were killed by explosive devices since 2012, according to newly released data, and we thought it would be interesting data to present to you. In neighboring Niamey, Niger, the finance sector union is observing a 5-day strike, but the worst really comes from Kinjiria in Chad. That is a town where Boko Haram is said to have killed 18 nomads over the past couple of days. With that, we thank you for listening to this brief roundup, and we look forward to seeing you again, both on our website and through this podcast. Thank you.